Viagra and rape, which I don't even want to go into, but the thing falls to the ground of its own ridiculousness. I have here a well-informed Middle East source who says that Ocampo should stop talking about rape because he is alleged to have indulged in this himself, and that somehow the International Criminal Court did some dirty things to get him off the hook on some of those charges. So this man is an adventurer and a fraud. That is the new thing that has happened here today. It's a kangaroo court of hypocrites, and I guess we have to be thankful that the U.S. is not in it, right? That's some little mercy in this whole terrible situation. The thing about the insanity of the ruling class is of course that, right? When you have a ruling elite that's based on derivatives and other kinds of finances, and when they see these castles of cards that they've built come crashing down before their eyes, they go collectively insane, and they lash out. Let me just give you an example. In September 21st, 1931, you had the bankruptcy of the British pound. The central event of the last depression was the bankruptcy of the pound in September 1931, when the Bank of England ceased gold payment. And then within about a week of that, I think a couple of days before, you have the Japanese setting off this provocation so they can invade Manchuria. So the idea that when you see a really acute economic depression taking shape, this is often immediately accompanied by most insane military adventurism of the type that we see here.
Well, Webster, my issue is this. I mean, obviously George Washington said don't get involved in foreign entanglements, but then Thomas Jefferson, my big hero, when our ships are being attacked, then you go and defend them. But that's when you're attacked. And, of course, that happened, as you know, in the Mediterranean and other areas dealing, and in the Gulf, dealing with Arab pirates. But Gaddafi's not attacking us. He tried to work with the West. He's been cheated. Now they have had generals in Congress, as you know, 2 days ago, say, yes, we're getting ready for a ground invasion, but it's going to be humanitarian. I've confirmed it from first a letter I got from Fort Hood, then we put out feelers to our sources over the telephone, then callers, that it was happening. Now it's pretty much admitted, and it's the very groups we were told. They've been told they are going in. Now, that could be stopped, but talking to all the military statisticians, talking to military affairs reporter previously before he did national security, Wayne Madsen, who just returned from Libya, and he's been there before. Gaddafi has bought, especially from the British, incredibly high-tech weapons. He's just waiting, and he's begging for the world to stop this naked aggression. But when the U.S. troops go in there, it's going to probably, many are estimating, going to be worse than Iraq, dealing with these 6 million people armed with grenade launchers, RPGs, and that's just the citizens. Gaddafi reportedly has very nasty anti-tank weapons that he bought from France and England and the Russians as well. Some of the latest stuff, and these are small that one man can carry. That are reportedly DU tipped, so they're not going to be fighting just Iraqis with AK-47s. And even if they try to go door to door, kicking in doors to confiscate the guns, house to house, if 1% of the 6 million population fights back, that's hundreds of thousands of combatants. This could make Iwo Jima and places like that look like a picnic.
It's an act of incalculable folly if they do it, and above all, the really terrible thing about it is, out of all the places in the Middle East, this is a population that wants economic development. They're not interested in the more benighted forms of Islamic fundamentalism. It's a secular state. It's based on economic development. They have this political system which they will describe as the equivalent of a New England town meeting. And
the globalists hate that. Every time they get in charge, they do put the Muslim extremist in. I mean, look at what they do in every country. This is incredible.
And again, I think I told you the Roman Catholic bishop is concerned about what might happen to the Catholics here. There are a lot of Filipino guest workers. A lot of them are Catholics, so there's a lot of social services from the Bishop of Tripoli, Giovanni Martinelli, and he's concerned about the Islamic fundamentalists coming in here. And what you'll hear from the Libyan government, I think, is very important for people to bear in mind. there is an alliance between the CIA and the Muslim Brotherhood. And the Muslim Brotherhood are the benighted ones. Those are the backward opponents of modern civilization. In the Middle East in general, according to people that I've talked to here, various nations, you've got the Iranian networks, the pro-Ahmadinejad network.
Stay there, yeah. Let's break down the factions from Tripoli with Webster Tarpley. Drudge is top linked. We appreciate him doing that to our story about the radiation cover-up with the TSA.
GCN listeners, why have you been hearing so much about Dermatol, the all-natural, all-purpose first aid spray? Because it's the must-have first aid product you need in your preparedness kit. Dermatol is made in America by Americans who know there's a more affordable, natural way to treat cuts, burns, bites, rashes, shingles, boils, and many other skin problems. Dermatol is gentle enough for diaper rash, powerful enough for bed sores, and harmless to the eyes and mouth. It's great for the whole family, even your family pets. Dermatol is antimicrobial, antifungal, antiviral, and not diminished by freezing, extreme heat, or years in storage. Dermatol is an absolute must for any first aid or preparedness kit. Dermatol's soothing, rapid restoration of injured skin is so effective, it's guaranteed. Order yours today. Call 800-217-6677. 800-217-6677. That's 800-217-6677. Efficient, economical, effective. Spray it all with Dermatol.
This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
Jim Newcomer from Midas Resources, June 28th, 2011. Gold opened this morning at $15.0330. A 1-ounce gold coin can be purchased for $15.4153, $770.76 for a half ounce, or $385.38 for a quarter ounce. That's $15.4153, $770.76, and $385.38.
The Constitution and the Bill of Rights have been reduced to old relics politicians ignore, trample with their outlandish, overreaching policies. Your support for the Campaign for Liberty stands in the way of this insidious process. Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I have teamed up with the Campaign for Liberty to offer the authentic proof quarter-ounce pure gold coin. For only $440 plus shipping, Midas will donate $100 to this incredible organization. Help fight big government by ordering your gold coin at 800-686-2237. You get to win twice by owning gold and fighting an overreaching government. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Is your church, school, or organization desperately looking for new fundraising ideas? Tired of the same old candles or candy, taking orders, inventory, and low profits? Well, here's great news. 10X Fundraising guarantees 10 times traditional profits with zero hassle. For an amazing free bonus, free shipping, and an extra 10% off, enter GCN when you go to 10xfundraising.com. That's the number 10, the letter X, fundraising.com. Or call 800-480-8797. Visit 10X Fundraising for 10 times a profit today.
Will you survive during the economic collapse or another deadly natural disaster? Your key to survival lies here at hardshoot.com. A former member of U.S. Special Operations knows what you'll need to survive in these hard times. Our online store arms you with extreme survival kits, self-heating food reserves, and more. For a limited time with any purchase, you'll also receive a 3-day survival kit absolutely free. Prepare now. The online store, www.hardshoot.com. www.hardshoot.com.
We took a little trip along with Colonel Jackson down the mighty Mississippi. We took a little bacon and we took a little beans, and we caught the bloody British in a town in New Orleans. We fired our guns and the British kept
Yeah, the Drudge Report, drudgereport.com is linked in the middle corner in red. Cancer surges and TSA body scanner operations. Get that article. Get it out to everybody, ladies and gentlemen. This is important. This is one of the biggest blows against their power grab ever, that they've been covering up the level of radiation and covering up the cancer clusters. And we've got links in the article to the PDFs with the internal TSA people hopping mad about this. This is where they've had them going back to late 2002, so 7.5, 8 years. That's, gosh, 8 years. Time just flies. And this is huge news. So this really shows how evil this government is. And now it's turning out that Pistoli is lying about them not telling her to take the diaper off, playing these word games of, well, we said you can't fly if you don't take the diaper off and let us check it, but we didn't say take the diaper off. You know, all these word games, twisting the meanings, playing games. Just incredible. Meanwhile, they're throwing the book at people. Army vet in jail after marking wrong box on passenger application. Also, the Drudge Report just updated Washington Post, White House chief for sale. Obama courts big donors. And Obama is doing White House fundraisers in the White House, which is illegal. Webster, I don't mean to get off into other issues, but you got to stay longer now because I promised to go to calls for you. So hopefully you can stay in the next segment. This is a short one.
Sure.
It's like a time warp on this show. But it just, government at every level just doesn't care about the law anymore. And that always, I guess, happens when you go into these degenerate phases.
Well, I mean, certainly one thing you see here is just anarchy, right? You've got, on the one side, you've got a government which is functioning on the whole rather well, given the circumstances. On the other hand, in Benghazi, you've got 35 factions, and they're trying to get, each faction is trying to get NATO to bomb the other faction by sending in false reports to NATO, and then you've got, in the world, right, at the level of the UN, you got total anarchy there, because there is this UN charter. It does say the only way that they can apply military force is supposed to be for threats to international peace and security, and not anything to do with the internal affairs of sovereign states. So they basically trampled that. So the Security Council has violated the charter, and there's the problem with that whole system, that there's no mechanism to strike down what you'd call an unconstitutional decision by the Security Council. So a lot of people here say, get out of the UN, right? Create a parallel institution, or just get out of it. The prestige of the UN could hardly be at a lower point than it is here.
What about the Nobel Committee? I mean, it'd be like giving Hitler or Stalin a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah, maybe some of them are going to resign, or maybe, I don't know, maybe some of them will do something to draw the consequences of their idiocy. The other thing, though, is, remember, when you're in a world depression, and we are, then that's when the respect for law breaks down. Look at the 1930s. Depression leads to dictatorship, and the domination of unbridled caprice and unbridled willfulness by some powerful dictator or other figure, and then that leads to world war. So we're stuck right in the middle of that right now.
Well, it looks like they're planning to go in with the ground forces. They're hoping they can assassinate Gaddafi, but obviously he's scurrying around to different warrens, so he's good at hiding. Doesn't look like that's going to work too well.
This is someone, again, who has survived for 42 years in a hot corner, right? And there have been more assassination attempts than you can count, right? Reagan tried to kill him with an air raid in 1985, killed his daughter. The British gave 100,000 pounds to an al-Qaeda group in 1995-96, tried to kill him, didn't get him, killed some civilians, and it just goes on and on. And now we've got this terror, the arrow that flieth by day and the terror that stalketh by night. And the terror that stalketh by night around here is the NATO bombing, which has been contained. But Thierry Maison was on the television here last night, and obviously NATO didn't like what he was saying, as they went and bombed one of the relay towers of the television signal.
And again, tell folks who that is for those that don't know.
Thierry Meyssan is one of the first people in the world to say that there